Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Nail Art 101. So in this series, we're just looking at basics that would be helpful to know when you are getting into nail art. So these are things that I just want to talk about. For example, the first week we talked about basic painting and photography. So like how to paint your nails without having too much cleanup, how to, lay the nail polish down nicely, things like that, and what cameras to use. And then we talked about the basics of a dotacure. So basically any manicure that has dots in it. Super basic of how to utilize those dots for different designs and even quite intricate designs. And then in this video, we are going to be talking about the gradient. So lots of manicures use gradient as a base. You can just do a gradient all on its own, or you can use it for the base of like stamping or freehand nail art, which is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you the very basic gradient, and then we're going to kind of kick it up a notch. So this is the gradient that we're going to create today. So I really enjoyed the yellow to green to blue. The three colors that I'm using are from China Glaze Summer. This is Whip It Good. Summer 2016, that's what we're looking at here. This is Lime After Lime. And then thirdly, we have What I Like About Blue. So you're going to want to paint all your nails white because it's really going to make those colors pop and give a nice base. And I'm using Pretty Serious Presence, as I almost always do. So I'm going to lay 2 coats of that down under all of them, and I'm just using this basic sponge here. So you can pretty much use any sponge, just go to the craft store and pick one up. And then you're going to paint the colors right next to each other on this sponge. So you don't have to be super duper fast, but you also don't want to take forever because you don't want the polish to dry out. And you can experiment with different, saturatedness of the sponge, how much you really want to get on there. So so I'm painting down the yellow, then I'm going to put the green right next to it so that you can get a good blend of color on your nail. And then lastly, we're going to go with the blue. This sponge, actually, I wasn't completely happy with how it worked for me. And like I always say in these videos, I'm not a professional nail artist. I don't know everything there is to know about nail art. I just learn from others and learn from different things that I've tried. This sponge in particular, I think, left me with a little bit of air bubbles in my sponging, which you'll definitely see as we go along here. So I'm just sponging it on here, so it's a horizontal gradient. And if you don't want the lines of the gradient to be super precise, you're going to want to do what I'm doing right here, which is dabbing and then going up towards the cuticle and back down towards the edge of your nail. Now, this isn't the best one that turned out. I'm going to show you another one here. I think I got a little bit more paint on my sponge this time. So dab it straight across, and then after you've got it lined up like you like it there, then you take the color back on and you're going to go up and down so that you get a good blend. It's like the same idea when you're blending your eyeshadow. You don't just want to put it on and leave it in the one spot. If you don't want to see lines where it stopped and started, then you got to blend it out. See, here's my lovely mess I made. We're going in for a second coat. So just as you do when you are doing, just a basic manicure, if you want your polish to have more opacity, you're going to go ahead and give it a second coat, right? So with the gradient, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going in for the second coat just to give some more opacity to our color. Here I am with this one too. I think I might have did a coat of top coat in between the 2 coats of the gradient, just to kind of experiment and see how that would help me. So I'm cleaning up. I did not have a liquid latex at the time of filming this tutorial. As you can see, you don't have to have liquid latex with your nail art. I know some people say you can't do it without it. Basically, I mean, it just depends on how much cleanup you want to have, but I'm telling you, I do my nail art every single time without liquid latex just because I haven't purchased it yet. You can definitely get away without using it. It's not a must-have. You can also use tape around your manicure, but as you can see, I am using a cleanup brush and acetone. If you want to, I don't think you can avoid that step completely because the latex it doesn't get all the way up to your nail or else it will peel off your work. So anyway, you just decide how much cleanup you want to do. As you can see, there's the little bubbles. I'm going in with a nice thick top coat. I think I'm using the Superchic Lacquer Liquid Macro here. And I'm going to do 2 coats of it because I really want to smooth everything down. And then what I ended up doing, here's the finished look here. Here's our gradient. You can totally leave it just like that. Doesn't that look fun and summery and bright? I love the gradient. And there's so many possibilities. You can do any kind of color combo that you want to. So we're gonna go from here and we're gonna take it to here. So I'm gonna go in with some black acrylic paint. Here is my detail brush. This is from the brand Kiss. You can pick it up at the drugstore. It comes in a 3-pack of nail art brushes, and I just use the brush, not the paint that goes in the brush. I'm using black acrylic paint. Any black acrylic paint is fine. I pick it up at Walmart or Target or, wherever. It doesn't have to be a specific kind. Black acrylic or acrylic paint in general is really good to work with because it doesn't dry as sticky and tacky as nail polish, so it gives you a little bit more wiggle room, I think. And the other nice thing about it is when you're doing really fine work, you can water down your acrylic paint, which you can't, of course, do with nail polish, at least not with water. And then you can make it much thinner, which will then in turn make it much easier to make fine lines. I didn't water this down because I wasn't getting too precise here. But anyway, if you can't tell, what we're doing here is I added a horizon line on the base of the nail and then, on the edge of the nail, and then I'm adding in the leaves and the trunk of this palm tree. So I just Googled, I use a reference photo for probably almost like 95% of my nail art tutorials. Basically, you just Google the image that you're looking for, and I can't tell you exactly where this came from because there are like a trillion images out there that look like a tropical sunset. You don't even have to Google like nail art for it. If you just Google silhouette, tropical sunset or whatever, something like this will come up. So that's just the image that I'm kind of referencing off of, nothing specific. So we're making this kind of sloppy because palm trees aren't super, it's nature. It's nothing perfect. So we're kind of just painting these branches on like how they would be in nature. I mean, if you've been around palm trees before, their branches are always falling off on the ground and they look kind of messy and they get dry. And so, yeah, we're just gonna go in for that, like a messy, lazy palm tree. So I started out with 4 branches, and then I got to this point and I was like, I think there's a branch behind the trunk. So I'm gonna paint the little bit of a branch back here behind the trunk, just kind of like peekabooing out here. So yeah, as I was saying, this brush that I'm using is from the brand Kiss. I said it came from the drugstore in a 3-pack. It's like a black, white, and metallic glitter or something like that. I don't use the paint that comes in them, just the paint brush. So I basically clean all the paint off of the brushes, and then you can use the brush, dip it in your acrylic paint, and you're good to go. So I really am finding a lot of success using those right now, but you find what works for you. You don't have to buy a super expensive nail art brush. I am intrigued by the Robin Moses nail art brushes because I totally look up to her and I'm excited for her that she has her own brushes now. I really want to try those. Let me know if you have tried them. I think they just barely released. She's been working on them for a long time. So anyway, putting in this last leaf here, this looks like 6 branches that I ended up going with. And that's pretty much it for the palm tree. It's nothing scary. I promise you guys can achieve it and accomplish it. I'm not gonna try anything too crazy here for you guys. I don't think that you can, accomplish yourself. So the birds, I put the palm tree on one nail, and then I'm putting some birds on, I think, the middle nail. I'm not for sure, but all the rest of the nails are just gonna have horizon lines. So yeah, we're just gonna paint some really easy breezy birds on here. Some of them are gonna be bigger, meaning they're closer to us, and some of them are gonna be a little bit smaller, but you don't have to get super precise with this. Again, you're looking at my nail really up close, and nobody's ever gonna be looking at your nail this up close. This is an extreme zoom in that I do for you guys so that you can see really well what I'm doing. I decided I wanted this bird to be a little bit bigger. So then I'm going to go in here and paint the horizon line. But anyway, what I was trying to say is don't sweat the small stuff. As you can see, those birds are not in any way, shape, or form perfect, but they will look good from far away, or even from not super far away, just not that close to your face. I'm not trying to preach perfection here on my channel. So anyway, each nail needs a horizon line. So the 2 nails that have some nail art on them also have a horizon line, obviously, but the ones that are just the gradient and no nail art, we're just giving a horizon line as well. And as you can tell, I did do a matte top coat on top of the gradient before I started the acrylic paint because I just thought it would look nicer and just kind of very, very fun neon. So this is the finished look as I showed you before. This is really, it's not too tricky, you guys. Give it a try. Find a brush that works for you and just play. Practice is going to help you. Just practice, practice, practice. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I love you so much, and I will see you back for the next one. Bye. There are 3 creams and 3 intense shimmer. Lots of pigment, lots of intensity in this collection. But as always, Essie kind of gives us a little bit of unexpected things for their summer collection. I like how they mix it up. They don't put the super like obvious polishes in here for summer. There are some in here that just are like, okay, yes, that's summer. But there's some in here that I'm like, really? Okay, all right, Essie, okay.